So, breaking news update for all of you. Of course, you'd have been expecting, today's a big day, India's game against Australia. But we've got some big breaking news for you that could very well be shaping how exactly it is that
Gill is the captain, is that he really impressed during Gujarat Titans' season, during IPL 2024. While they did not really have those, good wins, but his proactive captaincy, field settings, and even he led from the bat in most of the matches, as you say. So that's where I think it's a good move, but more importantly, it's a move for the future.
Yeah. Now, before we, of course, delve into, and this is a big discussion that we're going to be having, obviously, because it's come from out of the blue. I don't think any of us were expecting this to happen. Let's quickly delve over what the squad is like. And it is truly, at best, what you'd call a B or C team that India is sending. None of the major players are going to be there, but this is what the squad is like. You can see it on your screens right now. You've got Shubman Gill as the captain. There's no designated vice captain, but the rest of the squad is as follows. You've got Yashasvi Jaiswal, Rituraj Gaikwad, Abhishek Sharma, Rinku Singh, Sanju, Samson, Dhruv Jurel, a maiden T20I call-up for him, Nitish Reddy, perhaps one name that will set a lot of excitement. You've got Riyan Parag, also maiden call-up, Washington Sundar, Ravi Bishnoi, Avesh Khan, Khalil Ahmed, Mukesh Kumar, and Tushar Deshpande. That is, as I said, a varied squad, and truth be told, does read like the best of youngsters squad from the IPL more often than not, because you see a lot of these players are regulars for their franchise size. Now, of course, first thing that we have to talk about, Shubman Gill, the captain. Now, there's two ways of looking at it. Either this is a move for the future, or it could very well be the case that because you've had both Hardik Pandya and Suryakumar Yadav miss out on this particular tour, that's the only reason why they're looking at Shubman. But knowing how it is that India function, having a star batter as a captain is nothing new in India. It's always more often than not been the case. Does this look like, if you're asking yourself, one for the future, whether keeping a contingency or a backup in case they decide to move on from a Hardik Pandya?
Yeah, I think one of the most important points with respect to the Indian cricket team across formats and not just the T20Is is that India really need more captaincy options post the Rohit Sharma era. And that's where if you see, if this team has only one captain and there is no designated vice captain, but there are many players who have the leadership experience. Then you have Ruturaj Gaikwad, who led extremely well, for Chennai Super Kings. Then you have Abhishek Sharma also has displayed some good captaincy skills. He was, I think, he was the vice captain of Sunrisers Hyderabad in one of the previous editions.
Plus, I think he's led domestically, unlike Shubman Gill.
Yes, and then you have Sanju, Samson. I think his record speaks for itself in the IPL and for even Kerala. Then obviously, Nitish Reddy is there, who is, I think, really stepped up when it mattered the most for Sunrisers Hyderabad. And I think overall, when you look at this team, obviously it's a combination of the players who have done extremely well in the IPL. But one thing that catches my attention is that this team has 4 openers: Shubman Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Ruturaj Gaikwad, and Abhishek Sharma.
You know what that tells you? It tells you that not every player is going to be playing every game.
Yes.
And despite the fact that there is no designated vice captain, I have a sneaky suspicion someone like a Sanju may very well be chosen to lead, because if you've got 4 openers, it stands to reason that all 4 of these guys are going to get some game time. Who will open alongside Shubman? Most likely a Jaiswal, but you can see Rituraj and Abhishek Sharma basically step in for the 2 of them, because again, Rituraj the right-hander, Abhishek the left-hander, it just adds, the replacements are easy there to be made. But I think the one thing which a lot of us are missing is the fact that, so many youngsters. There's so many first-time call-ups. Let's go over them. You've got Abhishek Sharma, Dhruv Jurel.
Riyan Parag.
Yes, you've got Abhishek Sharma, Dhruv Jurel. Jurel, remember, has played tests for India, but never gotten a white ball call-up till now. There's Nitish Reddy, Riyan Parag, and of course, there is a Tushar Deshpande. I'm not counting Khalil. He's played internationally for India before, lest we forget. But that's 5 new call-ups. So what it does show you is that there is an effort being made, let's say, to kind of change the squad and bring in fresh talent. If you have to say, pick all 5, who exactly do you say? Just on a wild guess, who do you be most eager to be watching in this particular series?
I think obviously, from out of the players who have yet to make their debut, obviously Abhishek Sharma has to be the number 1 pick for anyone, because he does not really just contribute with the bat. He can also give you those useful spells with the ball. And then you also have Nitish Reddy and Riyan Parag, who are also more of batting all-rounders. But in case of Nitish Reddy, I think one of the things that really pushed his selection to the Indian team was that he's a pace bowling all-rounder. Exactly. And we really need to remember India's fascination with the pace bowling all-rounders.
And not just fascination, there's a paucity. You don't have any.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it, Shivam Dubey is playing in this World Cup as a pace bowling all-rounder who's bowled 1 over and got hit for 11 runs. Now Nitish is at least more of a bowler, I would say, right now than what a Dubey is. And don't forget gun-fielder. So I think if you ask me, of all 5, the one I'm really excited to see, I want a Nitish Reddy to do well so badly, because he at least gives you that option. Otherwise, depth and, let's say, balance in an Indian team, in an Indian white ball team, will be severely lacking. And to get that balance, you may then very well have to drop a spinner.
Yeah.
You may very well have to just play 2 spin bowling all-rounders like what the team are doing right now, except in normal conditions, then you only have 2 finger spinners.
Absolutely.
So, and that is not a good thing. I want options. I want players.
But one thing, that this team speaks in itself of the potential of the team speaks here is that apart from the normal bowlers that you have, Ravi Bishnoi, Avesh Khan, Khalil Ahmed, Mukesh and Tushar, let's say 3 or 4 out of these 5 play. The best thing is that you will be having the likes of Abhishek Sharma, Nitish Reddy, Riyan Parag and Washington Sundar probably in the same 11, which means that India might be starting with not just 4 or 5 specialist bowlers, but maybe close to 7 to 8 bowling options.
Exactly. I don't see an Abhishek playing up front, maybe later in the series, but yeah, I think a Nitish is someone who will get to play a lot of games, a Riyan Parag too, and a Washington Sundar, because again, Washington Sundar gives you one option that no other all-rounder gives you, is an off-spinning all-rounder.
Exactly.
You do need that off-spinner, and in today's day and age, I know a lot of people bemoan a lack of off-spinners. That's not really the case. They just are hidden now as all-rounders. So you'll have an off-spinner who can give you a few overs here. They'll go to South Africa, you've got a Markram, Australia have got a Maxwell, even England have a Liam Livingstone who to left-handers will bowl off break. So you do have them. India have persisted with Sundar, been very patient with him. Injuries, I think, have often hampered him at the worst of times, but gives you a very good option. So I think he's someone who starts. A Riyan Parag definitely, because if you look at the middle order options, he has to be starting.
Absolutely.
So then he's also someone I'd like to see them bowl a little bit. For that matter, even a Jaiswal. I'm surprised that the Indian team doesn't look to make him bowl a little more often, because again, a couple of useful overs of part-time leg spin might not be the worst thing in the world. So yeah, what you do see is a concerted effort to keep, let's say, bowling options, to bolster your options, but you do have some good pure bowlers as well. Bishnoi is someone who I think people tend to underrate.
Yeah.
I know he can be one-dimensional, but he's one-dimensional, gets you wickets.
He's one of those bowlers who really missed out on a spot to India's T20 World Cup squad. He's, mind you, he was just before the start of the World Cup, he was India's top-ranked bowler in the T20 format.
He was at one point the number 1 bowler in the world, never mind the top-ranked bowler. So then you've got Avesh, who I think has reinvented himself massively this time around for RR. Khalil has done well for DC. Same with the Mukesh. Tushar Deshpande is an interesting option, because again, 2 good seasons with CSK now. He's gotten a call up. I did expect to see some more new talent, but I think they're also, if you're looking at it, someone like Jaiswal, Gaikwad, Abhishek are also young talents. Rinku also has only been in the system for about a year and a half.
Yeah,
so
just an average of over 80 and a strike rate of over 190.
Yeah, and more international sixes in T20s than Ravindra Jadeja.
But there's one player I think who would feel hard done by not getting selected in this squad, and it is Tilak Verma. I think he deserved a selection. He did nothing wrong in the limited appearances that he has made for India, not just in the T20I format, but even in the one days too. He has done well. He has really, made those useful contributions. Was one of Mumbai Indians' most invaluable player in IPL 2024 in the season that they had.
Also a bowling option for India.
Yeah, absolutely. In the Asia Cup too.
Yes,
Harshit
as
Rana,
our producer Shubman points out, Harshit Rana is another one who I'm rather surprised doesn't get a call up. Deshpande gets a call up, but I thought Harshit was probably one of the better young bowlers in the IPL this year.
And the best part about Harshit was that he was able to bowl, across the innings.
Exactly, he was bowling in all phases. He was the one bowler who KKR were using across phases more so than Stark.
Yes.
For Stark, towards the end, they said, no, we're going to keep him for the power plays and maybe one in the middle. They didn't bowl him in the death. Harshit was bowling 1 in the power play, 1 in the middle, and then 2 in the death. So I'm very surprised they didn't go that route. Also, Mayank Yadav. I'm very surprised.
But I think I'm not really surprised with it, because he really needs to prove his fitness.
Yeah,
he just played a handful of matches in the IPL, then got injured midway during a match.
Then got injured again.
Yeah, then got injured again. So that's where I think he really needs to prove his fitness, really need to make sure that he lasts the domestic season for another couple of years, and that's how I think he'll be able to push his selection.
Yeah, Patidar unfortunately was never really in the scheme of things for, T20s. He did get a chance in tests and
one days.
Yeah, and didn't do a good job, not in tests. In tests, in fact, I remember in that England series, he had become a walking wicket. Yeah, he did very well for RCB, but I think considering the amount of competition for batters, doesn't really surprise me that he doesn't get a call up. But I think, look at them.
Yeah, but I think there's one more player who I feel is a part of India's World Cup squad and could have gotten another chance. It is Shivam Dube.
Yeah, I think what that tells you is that Dube is someone they're still seeing as an option, but they're giving him a break post the World Cup, because I don't think you're dropping him.
But he hasn't really played consistent cricket for India in the past few months or so, so maybe he could have been that
I don't
choice.
know. I think you could have had him, absolutely. He's not actually played much, but I think maybe if you're looking at it, none of the players who are in this 11, except for Jaiswal, are actually squad, because again, you've got Shubman who's a travelling reserve, Rinku was a travelling reserve, Sanju is one, but even Sanju hasn't played a game yet.
Yeah, and he's also a travelling reserve.
Yeah, there's Khalil also. So,
and Avesh, I think, is back in the country, if I'm not
yeah,
wrong.
but he was also a travelling reserve. Along with
Yes.
Shubman, he was sent back.
Yes.
So everyone who's there, who's part of the World Cup squad, was either A, travelling reserve, or B, part of the squad but didn't play. So I think maybe in the case of Dube, he has played. I mean, sure, he's not bowled much or batted a lot, but he has been fielding. Not very well, I may add. But, I think that's one of the considerations, because I don't think they'll drop him. It's too soon to give up on that experiment. He's still a player who has his uses, let's put it that way. So that is the breaking news for you guys. Let's just quickly go over the squad once before we can end this live show. Is it possible that we could take a few comments? Would that be possible? Yeah, so we'll set that up. We'll take some of your thoughts as well. But right now, let's just quickly go over what the squad is like once again for those of you who are just joining us. Shubman Gill is the captain. Then you've got Yashasvi Jaiswal, Rituraj Gaikwad, Abhishek Sharma, Rinku Singh, Sanju Samson, Dhruv Jurel, Nitish Reddy, Riyan Parag, Washington Sundar, Ravi Bishnoi, Avesh Khan, Khalil Ahmed, Mukesh Kumar and Tushar Deshpande. So good 15-man squad that you have, of course, put in place here for this particular series. And don't forget, it is a key series for India, because there is a thought process of moving forward in this particular format. You will, in fact, be looking to rebuild, because a lot of the senior players will not be featuring in this particular or the next World Cup cycle. So we've got your comments. We'll quickly go and take a couple. Let's say a lot of shouts, by the way, off the mark with Sanjay and freaking awesome, pointing out a T. Natarajan as someone who would feel hurt done by. I agree, but I think with Natarajan, what really holds him back is, again, same thing with Mayank, kind of fitness issue. He has not remained fit, although he was great this IPL, probably SRH's best all-round bowler. Priyanshu is asking a few questions that we were. There's Harshit Rana, Tilak Verma, Rajat Patidar, Yash Dayal, that's a good shout, and Varun Chakravarti. How is Deshpande ahead of Rana and Dayal? That second question, Priyanshu, very good one. As for Varun, I'm a big fan of the guy, but I think his India days are done. But I think, although I will say this, if a Varun Chakravarti was playing for MI, he'd have probably been getting a call-up. MI CSK players do have that advantage, don't ask why.
True, but one thing I think I would like to talk about Yash Dayal is that he's a part of the BCCI's bowlers' contract now, so he might just be, in the fray for the Border Gavaskar Trophy, which is going to be held later this year.
Mayank Yadav is also part of that.
Mayank Yadav is also a part of that. So you never know. I think they are being prepared as the fast bowling reserves for the BGT that's going to happen this year.
Absolutely. So a lot of people also mentioning, Harshit Rana is an interesting shout. A lot of people are mentioning him. See Ramesh Kumar also, no T. Natarajan, no, Harshit Rana, both missing. There's a lot of players. Freaking Awesome does also make an interesting point, saying that Gill is good for ODIs, but in T20s there are better openers. See, I would agree with that, but I think in this case, the problem with that is that it tends to work off perception.
Yes.
This is a Gill who, lest we forget, has shown that he has the ability to be scoring at 140 odd and getting you bucket loads of runs. I think a strike rate of 140, 145 in internationals, good enough. If you're consistently getting 40s, 50s, you could say there are better openers, sure, but who? Rituraj has barely gotten a chance. When he does get called up, he gets injured. Other than that, who? Jaiswal, you're not making him a captaincy candidate. So there is that issue as well. So, but anyway, we'll take your leave now. That's the breaking news update.
In the previous IPL, he was the leading runner scorer.
Oh yes. Don't forget. This is the same Shubman Gill who in 2023 did win the Orange Cap and was in imperious form.
800 plus runs.
800 plus runs, Orange Cap winner, best batsman you could say of that particular IPL. But he is going to be the one leading. And of course, you can let us know your thoughts about that decision as well as players who you feel could have potentially gotten a call-up and may get a call-up, don't forget, for the Sri Lanka series. But thank you so much for joining us on this particular live. As always, enjoy our company. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, follow us across social media, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned. Plenty more coming your way. Right now, though, from Siddharth and me, it's goodbye.